Hi, welcome back to EducateTube.com. My name is Sipsky, your host. In this video, I want to talk about the $500 dream vacation that I had a few weeks ago in Vancouver. I'll talk about how I was able to lower the cost and maximize the enjoyment of that trip. Now, before I do that, I want to thank Dr. Cleve for allowing me to visit his lab. It was a wonderful lab in Surrey Memorial Hospital. I have to say I enjoy all the technology that has been developed. Thank you, Richard. Hopefully you're watching this video. Let's move on to the vacation itself. All right, so let's break down the $500 dream vacation that I had a few weeks ago. Now it's $5 US, which includes the round trip flight from Toronto to Vancouver and back to Toronto again. It also includes the hotel stay, 3 nights, 4 days. And it also includes food, well, 2 meals a day anyway, and transportation, so local transportation. So pretty much cover everything for that 4 days, 3 nights. It's really, really affordable. As you can see, I'm going to break it down right now, how I was able to do that. And the reason I went on the trip, by the way, was because I want to see Vancouver, because I've never been to Vancouver in my entire life since I've been in Canada. So that's like over what, 45 years? That's a long time, right? Yeah, so this is my first time going to Vancouver. So it was a dream. I went by myself and I didn't really plan how I was able to move around, but God provide all the answer as I was there, and it just works out really well. I'm going to tell you right now how I did that. Okay, first of all, when I was searching for the flight, I went to Google Flights, and under different time I was able to book it. The cheapest one was Lynx Air Company. They were able to give me around $200 round trip to Vancouver and back to Toronto. So that's pretty reasonable. It's $200 US. Now I booked about 2 weeks in advance, so I was able to do that. Now if you book it last minute, obviously it's going to be a bit more expensive. Now for the hotel, that was the tricky part, because I was searching around. I found that it was very hard to find any hotel or motel under $200. The cheapest one I was able to find was about $150, $160, and it has a very low star rating. Not what you want, right? So I found this hotel. They call it hotel. I don't really call it hotel. I call it hostel motel, I guess. It's like a pod, like a Japanese pod where you have just a bed and a room. Like you just basically go into that small little compartment and you sleep for the night, and then you move on to do whatever you need to do, right? So it's called Panda Pod Hotel. I think it's been around for only less than a year, or at least a year and a half. I don't know when they started, but it was just convenience for me to able to go with them and stay there for 3 nights. And it cost me around I think $60 US. It's quite expensive actually. If you think about the amount of space you got, but it was very clean. And because I was just there for sleeping, and then in the morning I would go around Vancouver, right? So it was just for me just to have a good night rest, and it was good. They do provide internet and coffee, and then they give you a locker so to put your stuff in there. So, but you only get a bed. You don't get anything else, okay? So it's like a little compartment. You can check them out. I'll provide a link below. It's Panda Pod Hotel. Okay, they didn't sponsor this video, by the way. I just happened to stay there, and I thought maybe I'll give them a word of encouragement, to keep it up. Hopefully don't close down, because next time I want to go there, save money. Now I would say it's not meant for family. It's just meant for a single person to stay in that hotel. They do have a individual washroom for male and female. Okay, so if you're worried about that, they do have that. The bed, as you can see, you can check the video here or the image. It's basically one bed stacked on top of each other, and it's almost like a military, right? And you have this curtain that you pull over, and you sleep there for the night. Okay, yeah, it's for. I talked to some of my female friends and my wife, and she tells me I wouldn't want to stay there. Even my sisters, they said they would not stay there. They don't feel safe. All right, so yeah, it's depend on your comfort zone. So for me, it was all right. Next thing I want to talk about was the food. So in the morning, I wake up, I'll have the free coffee that they provided from the hotel. and then I'll take the Sky train. Well, I'll talk about the local transportation in a minute, which is great, by the way. So basically, I'll have my brunch, which you can see the picture here. This is the A&W. So, there's different fast food restaurants you can go to. I spent around between $12 to $15. So that would be my meal for the afternoon. And then in the evening, I'll go to selected restaurants like a Vietnamese restaurant or a Malaysian or Asian type of restaurant, or any kind of restaurant actually. And my budget was around $15 to $18. Okay, so you're looking about the 2 meals a day. That's about $30, and then you're looking about 3 days, so you're looking about $90. So it's not too bad, right? And then of course local transportation. Initially, I thought maybe I have to take the Uber or I have to rent a car, but I found out that it's quite expensive. The price of gas was like almost 40% more expensive than Toronto. So yeah, and then also the renting a car there is ridiculously expensive. Now I did find a car rental for around $150. Yeah, but still, that's still a lot of money. If you add in the gas in there, you're looking at you're gonna spend at least about $300, I think, on the car. And I don't feel like spending that kind of money. So thank goodness the local transportation, they call it the Sky Train. Their train system in Vancouver is fabulous. Like I was able to go from the airport and back to my hotel. I did have to walk maybe a few minutes and then I'll reach there. But it did stop to the last train stop. And from then I walk about 5 minutes, I think, to my hotel. It wasn't a long walk at all. I actually enjoyed the walk. In fact, one of my goals in this trip was actually to have a nice trail walk. Okay, like I went to Stanley Park and I was walking around. I was able to go all the way around. I was only able to go maybe 1/4. And because I was taking my time taking the photography, right, and video. So that's why I didn't have enough time to walk all the way around. So maybe next time I go to Vancouver, I will spend more time walking the whole pathway in that Stanley Park. Yeah, so the transportation is really cheap. I paid $11 for the whole day, starting from 10:30 or 11 o'clock all the way to midnight. Okay, so that cost me only $11. That's quite cheap. Now you compare that to Toronto, it's definitely cheap. Because you'll think about it, the train ride, that was like, I went from north to south, east to west, and then there's another train path that I went. So the whole day, just taking the train on that one day pass cost me $11. And that includes the ferry as well. You go across one part of Vancouver to the next part of the Vancouver. I can't remember the name of that, but I went across it taking the ferry. And from then, there was also buses I could also take, which transfer me to a very nice location called Whitecliff. If you have time, if you do go to Vancouver, do go to Whitecliff, right? So what I did was I took the bus. It was to transfer. From then, I had to walk another 30 minutes because there's no local bus going directly to Whitecliff. Now, you have a car, obviously, it'd be easier. But, like I said, I enjoy the walk. So as I was walking through that remote area, I was taking a lot of pictures. Beautiful home, by the way. You have these, can you imagine this home on the side of the mountain, and then you have the ocean view. Must be at least, like I would say, $10 million home there. Lots of them scattered across that area. What a dream, right? But anyway, yeah, at least they open it up for public to walk around that area. I was surprised there was no security around that area because it's such a beautiful home, right? And beautiful location. Whitecliff, okay? So think about that when you go to Vancouver. Stanley Park is another place that I went to. I was walking around that park. I was only given maybe like a half a day to walk around that park. So I only had like 4 or 5 hours, and I could only cover about 1/4 or 1/3 of the distance. And that's because I was taking my time, taking pictures, and yeah, really enjoyed the view and really focusing on getting nice images on my camera and my smartphone. In addition, other places that I went as well. I can't remember the name of one of the park that I went to, but I was looking at the map for where I can fly my drones. So there was only 2 places. One was White Cliff area. In the map, it said there is no airport around there, so I could fly there. And there's another park, I can't remember, it's I think close to Surrey, and it's away from the airport. So I was able to fly that as well. So I was able to capture some of this drone shot. So hopefully maybe you can see here, right here, the drone shot. That's really my purpose to go on this vacation, was to be able to capture beautiful aerial view of Vancouver, right? Now you cannot fly in the main city of Vancouver, it's not allowed, but if you go off skirt a bit further away from Vancouver, and you have to look at that Transportation Canada map where you can fly your drone, yeah, it will tell you where to go. Okay, so that's what I did. And what I didn't know, and it was a bonus, was I can take the boat, the ferry, across to these areas to fly my drone. The only regret that I didn't have time to do was spend more time near White Cliff or in that area where, you know, there is a tide that's going in and out. And when it's low tide, you can see maybe starfish and crabs and all that. I love being able to do that. But by the time I got there, the tide was so high and it was started to rain, a lot of clouds, a lot of wind. So there was no opportunity to do that. Maybe next time when I go to Vancouver, I will have a chance to really take my time to enjoy that scenery. Maybe next time I go on vacation, I'll probably go to Florida, where there is a strip of land where you have this low tide phenomena, and you can see like starfish, fish, and other sea creatures in that little pond, I guess, or little pockets of water. I love that. That's beautiful, right? So that I want to do in the future when I save enough money to go on a next dream vacation, right? So yeah, this was a wonderful trip for myself, and my opportunity to be able to take photography and fly my drones, and also, you know, kind of plan it out. But it was kind of weird because I didn't have a high expectation of what to do. I just searched on the internet for 7 locations to visit, and I think I only visit 3 out of the 7, right? And it was very, very fast. I didn't have time to like spend there, so that's a problem. Another thing is the weather in Vancouver. You know, if you catch the right time when it's sunny and warm, or at least cool weather, it's beautiful. But when you catch it on a rainy day, it's dreadful, right? So thank goodness, out of the 4 days, 3 out of the 4 was a beautiful sunny day, and it was pretty warm. Like, I mean, it was like 18 to 23, perfect weather. Yeah, so this was my dream vacation. I was able to go there for under $500, which is pretty reasonable. You think about the round trip flight ticket through Lynx Air, and then you got the food, you got the accommodation, and you got local transportation, all inclusive. And yeah, it's a very affordable trip. Definitely, I'm going to plan other trip in the future, and I'll update you on that type of vacation. I call it a dream vacation for one guy, right? Now, I do like to spend vacation with my family, and that will be a bit more expensive. And of course, it will be not under my control. It will be like a family kind of decision, how we're going to go and plan where we want to see and where we want to go and so on like that. Okay, so that's a different type of trip, and that's something, it's not out of my control. So I have to ask my wife how we want to plan that. But as an individual trip, this is something I really enjoy. And it was main purpose, of course, was to take photos and fly my drone, and I like it a lot. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Give me a little heart of appreciation. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.